Hey everybody, welcome back if you're returning, welcome if you're new here. This week I'm using the Heal Yourself reading cards and just do something a little bit different. And I mentioned in one of the other videos, I would love your feedback about topics you would like to cover, uh, anything that you want more information on, and it's just a matter of wanting to provide something of substance for you, something that is helpful. So if you can give me some feedback on that, that would be great. Let's see what we've got for today. Temptation. Ooh. And I think this does kind of play in with what we've been talking about this week, because temptation. We can be tempted by so many things. And I'm going to kind of roll off on this on a side note, but I like that because our temptation to play small, from our topic yesterday about our inner child and how we were taught to kind of dampen down who we were, turn down the volume, dim the light to be comfortable for others, it is so tempting to do that for approval, because when we look outside of ourselves for approval, for I can't think of the right word. Anyway, when we are not in a place where we are confident enough to seek our own approval, we are tempted to do a lot of things that are not right for us. If we're tempted to play a role just to make a relationship work, because we tend to, in our unhealed state, go into a relationship, like a date, say it's a first date, we go into that situation thinking, am I good enough for them? When you're healed, you go into that situation thinking, are they good enough for me? Because you know who you are. You know your value. And not even good enough. I don't really like that phrase, but like, are they a good match for me? Is this worth my time? Is this someone I enjoy? You're weighing it out from your side of it, not like trying to be what they want to get their approval, to get into a relationship with someone who's not going to know who you even are, because you don't know who you are. So you just play whatever role they expect of you. Does that make sense? Maybe. Maybe. I've got my sleeping co-host with me again today, and Cricket is on a roll with the snoring. But the temptation to go throughout life as an avatar, as a concoction of other people's expectations to get their approval, because we don't know who we are, or if we do know who we are, we're afraid to express it because we think that people won't like us, we won't fit in, it doesn't match everyone else's expectations, what have you. That temptation is strong, especially when in our unhealed state, we are less confident. We don't have the innate sense of value because we're different. Well, we're supposed to be different. If we were all the same, can you imagine how boring that would be? Oh my gosh, on that note, it was the dating thing. So there was a guy that, like, everything I did, he did. And he he wanted to go out, he wanted to date, and he just, like, to the extreme of, like, buying the exact same motorcycle I had, and I'm like, stop. I was like, please stop. I'm like, I don't want to date myself. You're not being you. I wouldn't even know if I liked you or not. And I spend plenty of time with me. I don't want another me to hang out with. I've got that. Be you. If you're you, then I can determine if there's any reason to continue a relationship. But at this point, you're just being me, and I have enough of that in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, things like that where you think you want something, or someone, and so you shapeshift and morph into what you think they want, then you've given away your truth, and you're scamming the other person, because they believe they're getting this version of you that you've created, this avatar, and that's not who you are. That's never going to work. You're much better off to just be you, because if they don't like you, you weren't meant to be. There's no reason to try and change yourself to be what they want when they don't really want you. You. And when you're in a situation, whether it's a job or a relationship or whatever, where you can't be you, that's exhausting, and it kills your sense of self-value, because everything about you is not acceptable. You have to walk this line and play this role, and that's not living. It's so soul-sucking when who you truly are is not accepted. And that's why your tribe and your family, again, we're going to touch back on that, is so important, because the people around you, she sounds like a freight train. The people around you, when you are your authentic self, you attract the people who are meant to be there, who will appreciate you for who you are. But if you go out into the world trying to put on a persona of who you think people want to be around, you don't attract the people who will actually like you. And then you wonder why you feel the way you do, like you're just not acceptable, or there's something about you that's wrong. You're just in the wrong environment. That's all. You're around the wrong people. Go be 100% you. And all of a sudden you'll find out that there are just as many people out there like you, who appreciate you, who get you, as there were people who didn't think you were right, who thought there was something wrong with you that you needed to change. And if you are in a relationship where someone is cutting you down, telling you that you're not good enough, you need to do this, you need to do that, to be with them, they don't deserve you. They're not the right match for you. When you realize that, when you find that out, when you can accept that, you do both of you a favor by ending it, because you're not meant to be together. Or, on the flip side of that, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're constantly trying to change them, they're not meant for you. Let them go. Throw them back. Throw them back, because someone else is supposed to catch them, not you. When someone is a part of your soul tribe, your soul family, you'll feel a connection. You won't have to make one. There'll just be a click. You'll kind of like energetically just magnetize to each other. Now, there's a healthy version of that and an unhealthy version of that, because if we're not healed and we're still operating out of our emotional wounding, we can feel magnetized to something that's going to be very bad for us. So it depends on your level of self-awareness. But never force a connection. Don't be tempted to change yourself to fit a situation. It's not the right situation for you. Don't sell you for something that wasn't meant to be yours to begin with. Because when you let go of that need to, that temptation to become what the moment requires, what the person requires, the expectation requires, when you let go of that temptation to shapeshift, to sell yourself short, to put on the mask, you'll actually get real connection, real joy, real acceptance. And the most important acceptance comes from within yourself. You accepting you for who you are and being proud of that, and realizing that you are the perfect expression of higher source, higher spirit on this planet in the combination that you brought with you. There's a reason you're designed the way you are. There's a purpose behind every part of you. And your journey is necessary for humanity. When the temptation strikes to change your journey, change yourself, change who you are, sell yourself short, hide parts of you, don't give in to that temptation. It takes courage to put our real self out there. The avatar is protection. When we are not being ourselves, it's almost like Halloween, where you put on a costume and then it's not really you, so they don't really not like you because you didn't expose you to them. It's being vulnerable and sharing who you really are that is so scary. And thinking, well, what if they don't like me? Well, they're not your people. They're just letting you know they're not your people. Your people are out there. Be vulnerable. Put yourself out there in the sense of just being who you are. Not playing small, not dimming your light, putting it all out there because you're going to attract others like you to you. And then all of a sudden you're going to realize, like, I am okay. Just like I am. And if you don't find them right away, they're still out there. Give yourself that approval. Heal that inner child by finally giving approval to who you are and making that enough. Your acceptance of who you are, your approval of who you are, will heal that inner child and make it that much easier to have confidence in going out and being your authentic self and not apologizing for it. There's nothing wrong with you. You were designed that way for a reason, and the world is waiting to meet the real you. So, side note of temptation, but I like where it got us. Thank you for joining me today. I do hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.